In the book of Proverbs, there are a number of times when the writer speaks of the righteous will be this way, but the unrighteous, the wicked will be that way. This will happen to the righteous, and that the horrible things will happen to the wicked. And whenever I read that, oftentimes I instinctively associate with the righteous. Well, I'm not one of the wicked ones. But really, I think it's speaking to a part of that within each of us, there's a potential to go either direction. And the seed is there. And so often in our society, in our culture, we view ourselves as the righteous one. I want to be a good person. I want to do good things. I hear this oftentimes, and people say, well, I'm not a racist, or I'm not biased, whatever it might be. Yet all of us are to some degrees affected by a form of racism, gender bias, cultural bias. The list goes on and on. To assume that we are the righteous one, that somehow we're enlightened, that we're woke, that we're somehow better than the other side, whatever that might be, is very dangerous. The great biblical story of the righteous man goes into the church and looks down at this person who they totally disagree with, they think everything is wrong with, who's sitting in the front of the church petitioning God, saying, oh God, have mercy on me. And the righteous person in the back says, oh, at least God, I'm not as bad as that person. And yet in God's eyes, the person who is seeking forgiveness is the one who goes away justified. When we think that we are the righteous, the good person, we are putting ourselves in a dangerous place spiritually. When we start assuming, well, I'm the good person, I wouldn't do that, it's a very dangerous place. We need to find ourselves that seed of humility, the seed that perhaps we might be wrong, that our culture may have some biases, our gender, our ethnicity, our economic status, all of these things, our generation, all of these things put us at an advantage and disadvantage. Let us begin with an understanding that perhaps I don't know everything. Perhaps that there are areas of my life that need to be enlightened, that the sides that I disagree with, the people that I look down on, that they may have a blessing for me. That I can be surprised. We need to find ways to cross bridges in our culture. We need to find ways to see religion not as a way to define us and limit us, but rather to open us to a broader and more full understanding of God. To somehow think we've got it right immediately limits our religion, limits our perception of God. We are to come to God with great humility. The God who is blessing us and touching us, reaching out in hands of love, not only to us, but to those who we might find disagreeable. The power of God is larger than anything we can imagine. Let us not be presumptuous to think that we have it already made, that we already know what is right. Let us be careful in our judgments. Let us be careful in assuming that we have it all together. And in this, may you find your life blessed, surprised by joy and wonder, and find that the people that you weren't expecting to bring you an unexpected joy and love and blessing, and opening your life to a broader view of that glorious picture of God's grace. Amen. Blessings to you and to all whom you love.